Welcome to the Let's Talk About Love, Sex, and Infidelity podcast with your host, Todd Creager. Todd has over 35 years of experience working with thousands of couples as a licensed therapist in his private practice. Todd shares his insights on this show. It's never too early to divorce-proof your marriage or too late to heal yourselves and have the relationship you truly want.
Everybody, this is Todd Creager. I'm talking to you today about a couple I worked with to help them heal from infidelity. It's something I do a lot of. And this is a couple who will go by the names of Ted and Roberta, not their true names, Ted and Roberta. And sometimes with what I find, not always, but one of the dynamics I find when there's infidelity is that one of the people, in this case it was the husband, but one of the people grew up in a family where they were very closed, that they weren't encouraged to be open and express themselves, and they learned how to manage their pain all by themselves and didn't really share with anybody. Sometimes, not always, but sometimes there's a higher risk of infidelity when you have someone who doesn't just let people get too close. They're not very positively affected. And I would say Ted falls into that category. He came from a family where the guys especially, and there was a a big family, the guys were always just kind of on their own emotionally, and there was a lot of macho-ness, and so he just didn't open up much in his first marriage, which ended. But then now, when he came to see me, he was with Roberta. Roberta was his second big relationship, and they hadn't been married yet when I first met them, and he had been cheating. He is a physician. He was cheating with a nurse, and his partner was very angry about that and was having a hard time, of course, getting over it, even though he professed, I will not do this again. I will not do this. I won't do it. And yet it wasn't the first time he's cheated. It was the first time with Roberta, but not the first time cheating on someone he was committed to. So he definitely had this pattern. And so she was angry. She was upset. He wanted to marry her. She wasn't, no way she was ready for that. And so we worked with him on his communication issues. And it was a tough one because he was so trained for so long to be strong and tough. And with his patience, he's good because they need him to be that guy in charge. But in intimate relationships, we actually need to learn how to be what I call healthfully dependent. And we need to be able to share and express and ask for what we want. And he was so conflict avoidant. So his conflict avoidance, his wanting to just he was so afraid of conflict that he ended up acting out, which created conflict. And this happens a lot in relationships where there's these kind of catch-22s that end up, or I should say self-fulfilling prophecies too. What we did with him is several things. One is we worked on his beliefs that if someone's upset with him, mainly Roberta in this case, that it would be bad for him, that it would end badly. Of course, in his family of origin relationships, that is what happened. For him to have a feeling and express it, he got negative consequences for that. Either a whipping from his father or a judgment from his mother. So in this case, he had to relearn that because, again, I saw his infidelity as one where he wasn't as invested in Roberta as he could have been. So it's easy to, temptation is there, is nothing new, but I even joke about myself with my wife. They're like, oh, I've been with you 37 years. Wouldn't it be fun for me anyway, to try be with somebody else? And she goes, yeah, I bet it would. But why would I ever do that? And she knows I wouldn't do it. So we could have that fun conversation. But why wouldn't I do it? I don't do it because she means a lot to me. And the main reason she means a lot to me is that I allow her to know me. So with Ted, he had to learn how to be more open, more expressive, be able to express his fears about commitment, express his hurt about her when she had a negative opinion of him, express even any urges to escape this tension through other people outside the relationship. That's a tough one for a lot of people. Oh, if I said that, she'd really hate me. And I said, no, I think she kind of knows it already, that you've done it to other people, and you've done it now once to her. So it's better to talk about it and to share it, but with her. So that's what we did. We did a lot of that, where he was able to share his hurts, his fears, his wishes, his wants. And it wasn't an easy process for him, so it wasn't a quick process, but he did do it. And she, little by little, began to say, wow, this feels different. This is different. You're opening up to me. You never did it before. I mean, I liked you for other qualities, but now this is kind of nice that you're able to express yourself. As a matter of fact, he was so afraid of not looking like the strong guy that he was shocked to see that when he expressed his wants and his feelings, his anxieties, his fear of even getting married, all that he was surprised by her response, which was like, wow, you're asserting yourself. There was one time I loved it when she said, yeah, we were in a car and we had this argument. Or I told him he's doing the wrong thing driving. And he stopped at a red light. He turned towards me quickly and he said, you know what? I'm really angry at you for that. She says, oh my God, I fell in love with him in that moment. And when he said that, he goes, I can't believe you had that response. She goes, keep trying it. Keep doing it. So he was so surprised, but it was very enlightening to him to realize that what he felt was important, what he wanted was important. The more he spoke, the more they got closer, the more they spoke, the more she relaxed, and she was able to listen to him. He was able to recognize that if she got angry with him, it wasn't the end of the world, and it wasn't a reason that he had to escape by sabotaging this relationship. They're married right now. It's looking good. This is Todd Creager, making the world safe for love.
That's it for today's episode of Let's Talk About Love, Sex, and Infidelity podcast with your host, Todd Creager. For free resources and materials, head over to toddcreager.com. Loved this episode? Head over to iTunes and subscribe, rate, and leave a review. We'd really appreciate it. Thank you.